What's up guys, Justin Morgan here, carved up vegan muscle, and you are looking at me from the opposite angle of what you normally do because it is late tonight and I am coming at you guys almost at my bedtime. So I've been really busy, as I mentioned in a few videos, with clinical practicum kids, other normal classes outside of practicum and clinicals, in addition to work. So I'm getting these videos in when I can. But today I wanted to talk about ladies using the overhead press and some of the general lifting guidelines that I have mentioned in previous videos. In particular, I made a video called Beginner Weightlifting Programs that I recommend, and some of them are very aggressive in the way that you increase the weights. And for ladies, it may not be likely that you will be able to increase 5 pounds every time on every single one of those lifts. Usually the 5 lifts are the squat, the bench, the deadlift, overhead press, and rows. So, on some of those, like the squat, the deadlift, you should probably be able to, well, on the squat, usually you increase 5 pounds each time, so you end up doing 15 pounds per week. On the deadlift, you kind of do something similar, except you only do the deadlift every other time on most of those programs, so you don't end up, actually increasing 10 pounds each time to keep up with it. So, and in just a second, when I get to the point, this information will apply to any program, but just going over how those programs work in case you haven't seen them. So these are 5x5 type programs where they're very aggressive about getting you stronger very quickly. So where this will apply very quickly, though, is with like overhead pressing. A lot of the ladies that I train will do, they'll start out with a bar, which is 45 pounds, and usually they'll get 5x5 on that relatively easy. So then they'll go up to 50 pounds. It gets a little harder. 55 pounds, 60 pounds, about somewhere in there. Usually for beginner female weightlifters, they start to stall out very quickly. And what I would recommend doing is one of a couple different scenarios. I do not have these, but the best thing, most ideal scenario would be to use micro plates or 1 pound plates. And with that, you can make the increases a lot slower. So instead of going up by 5 pounds each time, you can only go up by 2 pounds each time, and then you go up by 2.5 after that, because you have the 2.5 pound plates. That's 5 if each you have 2 1 pound plates. So the progression is a little bit slower that way, and that way that you stall out less quickly and you can continue to make progress. The other thing that you can do is, I do this with most ladies, and that is that instead I have them do 5x5 at a given weight a couple times before they actually move up in weight on the overhead press. For bench pressing, until they start stalling out on that, I don't really do the same thing, but bench press would probably be the next lift that they would stall out. Bench press, or depending on how you do rows, usually they'll cheat through that, and I don't really stop people from cheating on rows. I have them do the full range of motion, so at some point we end up doing Pendlay rows off the ground, so that limits the amount of cheating that you can really do in that lift. But and then squats and deadlifts are going to be much more progressive. So primarily we're looking at the overhead press as far as what ladies see as being like really quick things to stall out on. So everybody's going to stall eventually. If you didn't, then you'd have people that get infinitely stronger, and it's just not going to happen. So I hope that helps, especially if you're a guy and your girl's working out with you or something. That's something to be sensitive to. Or if you're a trainer and you need ideas, that's something to think about. One other thing I've had ladies do at different times was alternate between push pressing and strict overhead pressing. When we got to a certain weight that was really heavy for them, they could push press the weight some for their last few sets, So maybe we do 2 sets of strict press and then do several sets of the push press in addition to that, and then we would add, the next time it would be 3 sets of strict press, 2 sets of push press, 4, 5, and so on. So that's just another idea if you're thinking about that. And if you're a lady that is following one of those programs, that's something to think about, because you're going to stall out a lot faster than most of the guys will. So hope that helps. You guys take it easy, and I'll talk at you soon. Remember to like, subscribe, and do all that good stuff if you appreciated the video. Thanks, guys.